don't know. There we are. It took a minute for it to go live. I hope we don't have any buffering problems. But hello, God bless you. It is a beautiful, sunny, relaxing Sunday. I really should have closed the door. This light is just bright enough to be divine, right? Hello, everybody. Watchmen, thank you for being here. In the meantime, while we're waiting for anybody to get notified, because I know sometimes you don't, or you're out in your garden or running errands, don't worry, I'm not your prison guard. I'm hopefully considered family, because I consider y'all family to me. That's just me. Anywho, all links are in the description box as always. So always please check those out. But the title of today's video is a quote from one of the articles that I'm going to be reading from, called "The Doomsday Clock is now closer to midnight than ever before." Okay. And we had just talked about, I don't know, 1 or 2 videos ago, this quote that came from the Twilight Zone about the midnight hour. And I'll just read that briefly, real quick, because it just seems so appropriate. "When twilight and dawn are equally balanced, one no stronger than the other, each pulling against each other in the opposite direction, so that the very fabric of the night will be torn apart, midnight, when the monsters come out." And in prophecy, that feels about right. That 12 o'clock high midnight hour. Anyway, let's go ahead and start with some of these articles I'm talking about. I mean, it's pretty, yeah, especially the one I just named off. And it was not that long ago, just a few days ago. All these articles should be sent, unless I was tricked somehow. But anyway, the gist bullet points are, and this is the news, not me, okay? "The doomsday clock is a physical representation of humanity's proximity to devastation. As of this writing, the clock is set at 90 seconds to midnight. The clock is meant to be equal parts metaphor and call to action. It's no secret that humanity's advancements in technology and industry have come at a heavy cost. As our population has grown and our needs and wants have expanded, our natural resources are being quickly used and our environment consistently suffers for it. Changes in our climate have become more and more drastic, and if we don't act now, things will only become more dire for future generations, and our planet will become irrevocably altered." But, really what man can change is only what man is in control of. That's first of all. And we need to know the difference between the two. Second, we're not just in a magnetic pole reversal, we're in the end times. And the only thing would be a worldwide repentance revival that maybe, maybe the repentance time is past and now we're just getting closer to a harvest. But that's him up there. I don't know. Now, the second article came from Fox News like a day or so ago, literally titled "Some Americans Prep for a Potential Doomsday." And they literally came out with like a video, right? I saw it today. I think they'd done it yesterday, but the link for it is in no. Well, not for that video, but for the movie they advocated while they were doing this prepping video. But anyway, they started off talking about doomsday preppers. They had a couple of them on there. There was no making fun of them, nothing like that. But they highlighted a movie coming out in 2024, right? Called Civil War. And there was a trailer for it. And I have that trailer link for that movie in the description box. Okay. Now, what Fox 26, and this is Fox 26 Houston News, okay? Their title for their video was "Preparing for Post-Apocalyptic Scenario." So yeah, they talked about Civil War first, and in this movie, 19 states had seceded. The premise for the movie: the President of the United States wages war against American citizens. There is a message that I caught right off the bat, that it comes to you. And that was just coming out the trailer. They're saying it comes out in spring of 2024. And the resurrection is supposed to come out right about then, too. So I'm really, really excited about at least one of the movies. But while he was chatting with these fellows about preparing, they brought up the usual things like seeds, go bags, water, alternative fuel, trade, skills, and defense, and that they're actually learning skills. And these skills, they asked, these are important skills because they asked, well, what skill types are the most valuable? Top three they mentioned: doctors, nurses, mechanics. Just top three. I do think it is worth mentioning that it came out in the news that Mark Zuckerberg has built a bunker in Hawaii. This is a pretty rich person and has access to AI and a bunch of information in this guy. Now, the placement of this bunker I find very strange because the islands will flee away. At least that's what it says in Bible prophecy. Hello, Dan Patch. Hello, Nancy G and Janet. And again, hello, Watchman. God bless all of you. Watchman says tensions in the Red Sea ramping up, lines at the southern border, food recalls, and now DACA cops in California. Yes, things have been very much ramping up, haven't they? I mean, like really quick. We knew the birth pains would start coming closer together. And here we go. It's one of those hold on, and when you start feeling hopeless, remember, that is the time when you go to God like a child and just cry to him. Don't cry mad, necessarily at him, but when you're upset, instead of getting completely down into that place, grab on. You got to learn that God has got you in the storm, not just in the good times. All right. We will sing his praises always. Hello, Adrian. It's good to see that you made it. I'm so happy that you're here. Little notification I got to get out of there. Okay. The next article: scientists issue warning over unusual presence of several species during colder months. I would never have imagined, it says in quote. When discussing the ways that air pollution and the resulting rise in Earth's temperature affect the natural world, we often focus on the animals that are vanishing each year, including iconic creatures like the manatee and the monarch butterfly. Just as worrisome, however, it is the spread of other species into areas that would have been too cold for them before. Means they must have heated up. Conservation organization Bath City Farm has reportedly roughly 30 species that have moved into its area over the last 8 years. Where is Bath City Farm? I mean, really, who's ever even heard of that? They couldn't have given us a state that Bath City Farm's in? Anyway, aggravation. As the average temperature of the world rises, summers are just a bit warmer. That's right. Okay. So it's what we're going through is affecting every species down to plankton. And that's the truth. Next article. We remember the rare earthquake that just happened in Nebraska recently. There was another earthquake reported in South Carolina town. Is just the latest of many in the area. So it's saying that South Carolina has this town that has kind of a swarm going on that's unusual for their area. It may not be dangerous looking, but there's activity there that obviously they're concerned enough to write a piece about. So it says an earthquake rattled the town in South Carolina early Wednesday morning, according to USGS. USGS reports the magnitude 1.6 quake hit just after midnight. There's that midnight again, right? And was centered near Jenkinsville. Well, at least they know how to tell us town. The town is about 30 miles northwest of Columbia and just north of Chapin, I don't know, between Newberry and Irmo. It's the latest in more than half a dozen earthquakes that have hit the same area in the last month. So they're talking about earthquakes. Next one is El Nino is nearing historic strength. What this means and what it will and when it will end. The climate pattern El Nino that has pushed the planet to record warmth over the past 6 months is nearing its peak. Potentially is one of the strongest El Nino events observed over the past 75 years, new data show. Growing water temperature anomalies and strengthening abnormal wind patterns over the central and eastern equatorial Pacific Ocean suggests the extreme weather impacts for which El Nino is known will continue, if not accelerate, around the world. What happens in that zone of the Pacific has cascading effects around the globe. That includes ongoing heat waves, drought and fires in Australia, deadly floods in Kenya, and drought and floods in parts of South America. In the United States, it is likely to mean more heavy rain along the Gulf Coast and in Florida, which has experienced major recent flooding, and wet and stormy conditions in California, a pattern that has been forecast to set in soon. At the same time, scientists now see a coming end to the present El Nino. Climate models suggest it is more likely than not that El Nino conditions dissipate by June, returning the Pacific to what are called neutral conditions. The absence of El Nino and its foil, La Nina, according to analysis published Thursday by the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration's Climate Prediction Center. Powerful storm to lash East Coast with windswept rain this weekend. So what happens next is anyone's guess. How long will we stay in neutral? That's one of the biggest questions we're going to be asking more and more. We don't really have a strong indication either way. Next article. I mean, it just all goes together. Doomsday, earthquakes, insects acting up crazy, birds dropping everywhere. And this is all the last 2 weeks. I mean, the last 2 videos have been packed in my videos, just that I've done. There's a lot going on. This one is titled, Research Says Hundreds of U.S. Communities Are Being Threatened by a Seemingly Unprecedented Event. Here's what's happening. Hundreds of U.S. communities. What unprecedented event? The risk of wildfires. Again, earth heating up. Coral bleaching. Volcanoes. The risk of wildfires across the globe is increasing because of rising temperatures caused by what they say is pollution. Magnetic pole reversal. While it perhaps assumed that rural areas would take the brunt of these devastating events, urban areas are also at significant risk. They start talking about a wildfire in a Hawaiian town. Now people living in urban areas are being warned that similar events could happen where they are in coming years, with more communities forming in the fire susceptible areas. So if you're thinking about places to move, be on alert for tumbleweeds. That's like, kindle for the fire. And the wind can make it it establishes the speed of how fast these wildfires spread. So it's a matter of dryness and wind speed, opportunity. Shoot, you might be good for, 20 yards, but then one little ember, or just the heat itself. So, yep. We're going to be finishing up pretty soon. The land here, we're seeing more signs. Pumpkin farmers are facing unprecedented crisis. There's that word again, unprecedented. There's no future after me, it says in quotes. Water shortages are causing farmers' pumpkin yields to wane, and some growers don't think that their farms will persist much longer. No more pumpkin pie. The Associated Press spoke with a number of pumpkin farmers to study the alarming trend in the crop's deterioration and came to some troubling conclusions. Despite summer rains in northeastern Colorado this year, farmer Alan Mazzotti said that his harvest still wasn't up to snuff with previous years because he planted when water was limited. By the time it started raining and the rain started to affect our reservoir supplies and everything else, it was just too late for this year. There's no future after me. My boys won't farm. Other growers reacted to inconsistent water supplies by cutting down the amount that they planted in the first place. It's one of the worst years we've had in several years. Yep, so their problem is groundwater. And we've been reading articles recently that are saying, like in the New England area, they are pumping water out of some areas and bringing it to other areas because their wells are running dry. That's a fact. Last article, you may not think this is related, but the title is Physicist Discovers Paradox-Free Time Travel is Theoretically Possible. Do you know why? Okay, first of all, when it comes to a binary solar system and the gravity of the system and the fact that space and time are woven fabric together, right? Gravity effects, that we would have problems like Mandela effects, problems like that. But the mechanics and technology to time travel has been messed with just as much as them withdrawing antimatter from other places. They've been opening Pandora's box, right? So now they can, in their own way, admit that they've been messing with it and that there are paradoxes, not just alternative realities, but paradoxes. And now they're thinking, well, maybe we've gotten smart enough that we can do this without any paradoxes, any backlash. See, you keep stepping on God's feet, stepping on his reins. But it is related when it comes to time and space, the binary solar system, the electromagnetics. It's related, because along with the signs that you would see on Earth and in the stars and everything, you would start seeing strange things happening. Strange things. Gates. Think about that. Like ghostly, like almost pictures of other times blinking in and out, changes around you, like your car color or spelling or Bible verse changes. That is possible like that, whether it's man or natural. That is the foundation of how things work. So it's no wonder that you find yourself in not just perilous times, but very, very strange times. So yes, this article is related, and it's almost like they're telling on themselves. But again, it says physicist discovers paradox-free time travel is theoretically possible. No one has yet managed to travel. That is the biggest lie. No one has yet managed to travel through time, at least to their knowledge. That's what it says, at least to our knowledge. But the question of whether or not such a feat would be theoretically possible continues to fascinate scientists like a moth to the flame. As movies such as The Terminator, Donnie Darko, Back to the Future, and many others show, moving around in time creates a lot of problems for the fundamental rules of the universe. If you go back in time and stop your parents from meeting, for instance, how can you possibly exist in order to go back in time in the first place? Exactly. It would correct itself. It's a monumental head scratcher known as the grandfather paradox, which we've talked about before, talking about Einstein's theory of general relativity. Yeah, we don't want to get into all that science right now. We don't. I'm going to go over some of the comments super duper fast. Hello, Clarissa. You see Plant Lady Vibes. Hello, it's good to see you. DJ Velasquez. Pretty sure I said hello to Clarissa. Let me see. Washington State going to have a major drought. Ski resorts are having trouble this year and no snow. Wow, 50 degrees. Yeah, it's been getting warmer up north, hasn't it? Since last year. Clarissa says, I watched a building burn down in Orwick, Colorado from a live stream yesterday. It was arson. Ooh. Adrian's pumpkins didn't do well last year either. Too hot and dry. No snow in Montana, says DJ. Okay. Yep, I agree with you, Janet. Robots are a good shell for evil spirits to live in because, beings of light, that's energy. And robots are fueled by energy. So I can see how the integration could be possible. God gave us free food from your garden. That's wonderful. Event Horizon. Yeah, we're waiting on that horizon, aren't we? We know it's there. No snow here yet. 61 degrees. Smart. It's been getting colder and colder. They say we're going to have a blizzard in January. I'm not real thrilled about it. Hello, child of the King Jesus, my Lord. It's good to see you again. God bless you, John. Richmond, Virginia. Probably invent a swamp cooler for the pumpkins. Oh, before we go, just a couple of things. I finally got what needed the most to be done on the car. Finally, the bumper cover that was threatening to completely fall apart and roll under my car while I'm driving and tear everything back up again. But I finally got that after 4 months of hunting all the parts one by one. It's specific to the VIN number to each car, just for the screws and push pins and clips. Everything is so specific. A year's worth of working on that car. And I wanted to say happy birthday to my youngest living son, Trent, who turned 17 today. He's taller than me. Beautiful, beautiful. Since he was born, he's still beautiful. And okay, so I hope that you can take the rest of your Sunday, relax, because it's getting close to Doomsday clock at midnight. So we need to be able to relax and unwind and enjoy our families and these good moments as much as we can while we have them. Okay. Even light can come in through the storm. So just remember that when things are hard. And I know for a lot of you that they are. Stay strong in Jesus. Keep looking up. Keep looking forward to the love that God has for you each and every day, even when the world is turning on you, even when it seems like even Christians are tearing each other apart. And I continue to pray that that stops happening. Because we got to get it together. Divided house can't stand. Child of the King says last Sunday we got 8 inches of rain in one day. It was only supposed to rain 3. I woke up to 3 or 4 inches of snow, followed by 70-mile-an-hour winds the night. And wow, it can. I was reporting on this channel years ago that the winds would start picking up, getting very, very dangerous. We've still got more to go. I think that HARP gets given a little bit more credit. Can they do stuff? Sure. But the combination of everything that's happening is bigger than HARP. It's constant, and it's definitely signs of a magnetic pole reversal. Very, very bad. And the sign, like the magnetic anomaly in the South Atlantic, is grown so much. And that's not the only place on Earth that there is a magnetic anomaly. Like there's one in Houston. That's true. It's true. They call it the Houston magnetic anomaly. There are different anomalies, different places where the magnetics are reversing. And if I find any more, which I should at least look, I'll check it out. But yeah, some things could be, but it no way can explain all of this. It can't even hold a tear to it. I'm sorry. No, the winds are to be expected. That's the truth. And I think that's why the Bible says to strengthen what remains that is getting ready to die. Lately, none of this prophecy is anything to play around with. We fire in the marsh. Happy Sunday. All right. God bless you, Kathleen. Didn't want to miss seeing you here. It's always great to see you. All right. God bless you all. I love you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.